welcome back. I'm Ed Pluchar with another real estate mini lesson. That's it. That a Zestimate does not equal an appraisal. So this comes off of a story of a woman, I think it's in Glenview. I'm going to be using a little bit of notes here just to keep track of what's going on. But there is a woman Glenview, Illinois, who was having trouble selling her house because the value, as she and her real estate agent believed it to be, was about $80,000 different than the value that the Zestimate was giving. Obviously, the Zestimate is not a gospel truth, like this is what the value of the house is no matter what. But to her point, a lot of people look at the Zestimate and say, okay, that's probably a pretty good estimate. And if a house is wildly out of range of that Zestimate, as in $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, then a home buyer is probably unlikely to go and make an offer or be interested in that house at the price which it is likely rightly valued at. So Zillow does a lot of things well. Some of you have met through Zillow. Appreciate that. One of the functions that Zillow does really well, I think, is their mortgage calculator, because it lets you work with not only principal and interest, but you can also plug in taxes and insurance and kind of work with the data to see what kind of loan product might work best for a client. So I really like that about it. A couple things that I would critique about Zillow, though, is that they get their data from the MLS, and often, too often, I think, it's wrong. I'll even, some of you watching may know this, but I'll often get clients sending me a link from Zillow saying, hey, is this still available? Now, if Zillow was reliable, that question would be unnecessary, but it's necessary because often enough, you get a listing from Zillow, they say, I'd like to go see this. I go check on the MLS, and it's not available anymore. It's under contract, usually is the case. So that's knock number one. Knock number two is the Zestimate. I mean, there was a study done which showed it's about 5% off all the time as an average, and that's a lot of money. When you're talking up to $200,000, $300,000 right away, you're at you're at $10,000, $15,000, and it only goes up from there. If you're dealing with a luxury home, you could be way off by thousands of dollars. So, in my opinion, it's most often unhelpful. It may get you in the ballpark if you're already thinking about this is probably $10,000 to $20,000 off. Then I can kind of work with that number. But if it's $20,000 off, even on a $400,000 house, it's hard to see exactly how that's truly helpful to anybody. They are working on it. They actually have a contest. I don't know if it's expired yet or not, but they have a contest where they're offering $1 million for anybody who can correct their algorithm to give them more accurate results, more accurate estimates for homes. But even Zillow's own defense in this lawsuit is that a Zestimate is not an appraisal. An appraisal is done by an appraiser. They're a licensed professional, and they go through a rigorous process of comparing the house against recent sales, homes on the market. They go down to the square footage. They go down to beds and baths, style of the home, number of floors on the home. They're basically looking for exact matches or near matches from which they can derive a value. Obviously, that's a pretty intense process. It requires a lot of particularity as far as what the data you're looking at, and a national algorithm is going to have a hard time pulling that together. So in Zillow's own defense, they're saying these are not appraisals. But the lady's complaint is that not only is it not an appraisal, but it actually influenced negatively, very much negatively, the prospects of selling her house. She just was unable to sell it at the value that she believed it was worth. So very interesting story there. The lesson I would derive, not only to be skeptical of Zestimates, but it seems obvious, but it's true. Talk to a real estate professional. Obviously, a realtor is going to be number one because they have their eyes on the market. They can do what's called a comparative market analysis. That's still not an appraisal, but it's close. It's the next best thing. Appraisal is going to cost you $400 or $600 depending who you're talking to. CMA is a comparative market analysis. Most realtors will do it for free. So it's worthwhile to get that as your starting point rather than the Zestimate and go from there if you're looking to buy or sell a house. If you have any further questions, if you're thinking about the value of your home or the value of a home you'd like to buy, give me a call, 931-2279. Thanks for tuning in.